I've decided what I'm gonna get for lighting, right? So there's this company called Groovy or like
Groovy.
Groovy.
I always say it's Groovy, but I think it's Goovy. And they make all these sorts of lights and things like that.
It's got to be Groovy, like Gruvi or something like that, because if it's Goovy,
no, it's weird.
That sounds so stupid. Like, what are these with these
know.
stupid company names, man?
Yeah, it's probably a Chinese company or something. That's why it's like these weird names coming out.
Yeah, right. It's in all capitals. You ever notice
All
that
capitals.
on Amazon when you go to like buy like an off-brand product, you're like, oh, this is like M.
It is Goovy.
Yeah.
Probably Govy.
Govy. Okay.
There's one Gove. Okay, making your life smarter. Right. That's their tagline, I guess. And
Wow.
they have all these stupid things that kind of look cool, but then you put them up on the wall and you're like, why do I have that? But I found one of their products actually I'm going to get. It's just like a tube, an LED tube essentially, and there's quarters. So you can like construct something. But I'm going to get their smallest package, which is like essentially 6 feet of tubing and then one 90-degree turn, right?
Oh,
So
wow,
that's
okay.
going to go above my soundproof and just down the wall. So it'll actually illuminate the corner, which is the darkest corner in my room, very well. And the key thing for this was I'm able to hook it into my smart house stuff.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Cool.
The only downside is I can't only control it locally, but I can use their API. So the lights aren't talking out. My server is talking out, and that's for getting responses. I'm a little iffy about it, but it works, and
Gotcha.
it's enough where the light isn't talking. So I don't know.
So is this going to be a thing where we get to see your gamer, like you're going to be more gamerified when we see
Yeah.
you on video now?
I guess it
the
will
lights.
be, yeah.
Yeah, I want to
Honestly,
see a really like sweet gamer setup from you, Sean.
I feel like we should all aspire to have true gamer setups. Like that's something I really want to do in my spare bedroom is, I bought some anime posters. I'm going to put them up on the walls.
Oh my God.
I have a bunch of the LED light strips that can talk to like my phone. And I had to, from my old place, I had to tear them down, but I still have them and I want to put them back up. And I might try to do this gamer setup like Sean, you're doing, where it's kind of around my computer setup instead of just kind of around a living room or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I have with LED strips, right, is to me, those can't directly face your eyes, right? They need to be pointed away and then they look good, right? Or have some sort of diffuser in front of them. The reason I was thinking of getting this tube thing is because it's, LEDs inside of a tube, which is diffusing it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it makes it
Oh, so it
better
makes
to
it-
just look straight at, right? But if I just put an LED strip around, I think that would look so tacky. I wouldn't want to do it.
It might.
I'd have to have it under shelving or under the desk or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when I did it originally, I had it up and I just had it like around the perimeter of my ceiling and it didn't look that weird. And you only really noticed them when they were on, I guess. But
Yeah.
I guess for a more pro setup, the tubing would probably
like-
be the way to go.
Like if you're going to have them along the ceiling, right? The ideal thing is you have some molding, right?
Yeah.
So that's recessed.
Yeah.
So then you see it reflecting off of the ceiling to come down, and that looks. You take it from like college dorm room.
Oh, yeah.
To all of a sudden, mansion
Pro
level
setup. Yeah.
In
this is
just
like-
the one thing.
This is your man cave right here. Yeah.
I just like the LED strip. Like I used to have this until my LED strip kind of fell off and broke. But LED strip on the back of the desk, so it creates that diffusion from the back wall. So like when you have it turned on, right, you're not you don't get a ton of light coming off of it, right? Your main light is still coming from your screens, but you'll have like this blue background or whatever, or rainbow or whatever you want, right? If you wanna
Yeah.
be like gamer RGB. Yeah, I just need to get the fans really, so I can get some RGB fans, and then I'll be fully in front. Because I already have RGB keyboard, mouse,
But we can't tell
I
your
can't
RGB.
do that because
true, yeah.
I have all Noctua in my computer, so I can't go
Yeah.
Are those
RGB.
not? Do they not have like LEDs in them?
They don't make RGB. They will not lower themselves.
Strictly performance only. Like you're getting the best airflow.
Yeah.
But you don't
Yeah.
get the
What
colors.
I just thought would be super cool is now it's a downhill spiral, right? If I get LED strips, right?
Yeah.
I could put them under my bed, right?
You're
so
just
that
like
I get
everything.
the illumination like coming out from underneath my bed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that would be actually really cool, like if I need to get up in the middle of the night. And then I also have some sort of motion sensor. It turns on.
That's pretty cool.
Down a rabbit hole. This is down a rabbit hole. Yeah, it just keeps going.
Ever since I got the Home Assistant server, it's been game over for me.
Yeah.
In terms of what can I plug into this to make it look
To make
right?
it
like
look
I have
automated.
all sorts of like on my watch now. I have all sorts of like I don't know if you can see, but these are different scenes, right? That I just hit the button and then it activates different lights and things
Oh, it's just set up a
at different
dope.
levels around the area.
Yeah, it's sick. Yeah, it's
So
nice.
it's
Smart
quite
home.
nice.
Smart home
Yep.
stuff. Yeah.
Sean, half of the stuff he has to move from his old place is probably just smart home stuff.
No, it's not. I'm not that bad. All right, I only really have lights, at this point, and some plugs.
Oh, those plugs are actually like kind of the best.
The smart plugs. Yeah, that would be kind of neat.
And the other thing I have is I have 2 temperature and humidity sensors, one of which I still can't find. I don't know if I told you guys about that, but I can't find one of my temperature and humidity sensors. It's just, I know it's here because it's reporting information to my server, but I have no
So
idea where
it's
just
online,
somewhere.
but it's hidden. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. So
Why do you even have
but
a
that-
humidity sensor? Like, what's the point of that? The only thing I can
Well, I'm
see
glad you asked. It's because it reports the humidity and temperature, obviously, to my server, and then I can do actions based on that. For example, turning on and off my humidifier when it hits a certain temperature or humidity.
That's pretty dope. Okay, all right.
So my room stays within the right humidity that I like it,
Yeah.
just automatically.
So for the temperature sensors, are you hooked up into your apartment's sensors, or are these separate sensors to which then you somehow
No,
route?
they're like tiny. I don't know if you can see in my video. I have on my light lampstand. There's a tiny little white square on it. It's like the size of my thumbs, right?
Okay.
It's just a tiny little brick that is battery powered, and that reports it wirelessly. Well, it reports it via Z-Wave, I believe,
Z-Wave.
not
fancy.
Wi-Fi. Well, lower power.
Cool.
And with that, everyone, welcome to Almost a Podcast. I'm going to intro now. Today's going to be a little bit of a short one. We're on the topic of gaming and being true gamers. So we're talking about gamer
Revisiting
setups.
gaming.
Yeah, well, I want to like dive more into like the gamer setups. What is like your ideal setup? Do you have an ideal gamer setup? Because now that we've been talking about it, I feel like I have a lot of things that I'm starting to just think in my head, so many different things I want to do to my setup to make it more presentable on video. Like with all the LEDs and the art and like the staging.
Oh, so you mean like a streamer setup?
like
in
a
way.
streamer setup. Yeah, what would you do? Do you think you could make a great streamer setup with your current setup right now and just modify it, or would you have to like completely change your rooms to make it work?
I just
I
don't
would
want
have
my
to completely
bathroom
change
in the shot since I have like
Yeah.
the open door to my bathroom right now.
Or just close the door.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
looking
true,
at
yeah.
both your videos, Sean, you got stuff to work with. Mike, it's a little harder because you got like the bed in the background, and then you do have the open bathroom in the background. But you could maybe
plenty of streamers have their beds in their background.
do that. Okay,
Do they?
I mean, if you get a nice
Because that's
like
the one thing I
comforter-
would change. I wouldn't want the bed in the background.
if you get like a cool comforter or something, that would be cool. And like you said, Sean, with the LEDs
Just
under
an
the
anime
bed,
waifu cover.
like a body pillows everywhere.
Oh, God.
I mean, I bet you like all the like the streamer girls who have like a lot of like Pokemon plushies on their bed. That would be kind of cool. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. You know
I
what actually
obviously-
made me laugh or chuckle was that you're the one, like, probably you've seen the least anime. You're probably like the least weeby out of the
Yeah.
three of us. But you're like the one I want like anime, like posters and stuff like that, getting this set up. I'm like, I find that so funny.
It is kind of funny.
Okay.
I just think it's fun. I think it's cool. Like art. I'm just appreciating art a lot more now than I was 5 years ago.
Art, quote unquote, or
Okay,
just art,
no,
art.
Both, all forms, all forms.
Yeah.
All forms of art.
Culture or like culture.
Okay, so along this topic, I know it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
strictly gamer.
Sure.
However, I was scrolling through Instagram as I do, and I got an ad for like an anime loot box, right?
Oh,
Type
yeah.
deal. There's tons of those.
I've heard
things.
of these.
I think this one was called like the Otaku box. Never heard of it. It's probably new. Probably going to crash and burn. However,
Okay.
the box they were advertising this month was a Riaz box. And
Rhea
was
Stremery from High School
from
DxD.
High School DxD.
Oh, really? Oh,
And
that's
I was like,
the character? Jeez.
the model that is included in this box, not
Cream.
bad. Like,
Cream.
I'm not a figurine guy, you know. But if I do buy one of my own volition, it's gonna be a downhill spiral. I can tell.
Yeah. That's another thing where it's like, I kind of want figurines, but at the same time, do I want figurines? Because...
I was gifted one, actually, surprisingly.
Oh, okay.
Wait, really?
I don't know. When I think of how it happened, I cringe all the time. However,
Please
my
tell it. That seemed better.
aunt, right?
God.
Oh, this is probably going to be a good story.
So my aunt travels all the time for work, and she at one point went to Japan, and and she's very, very nice. So she's like, I'll get people gifts that they like, and she knew I liked anime, so she's like, I'm gonna go to one like a anime store, try and find one of those. She has no idea about any of these things.
She has no
And-
expectation.
And and try and buy something. So she got me a figurine, right? A figure.
Yeah.
I was like, and after, this is before we had gone to Japan. So after we went to Japan, I thought, oh my God, I cannot imagine her in one of these stores.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But she got me a Xenon from Alicization, a Sword Art Online Alicization figure.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Somehow she picked that out, and it was someone I knew.
Nice.
But it was completely random.
Yeah. Like, for anyone who hasn't been, the anime stores tend to be very, like, all right, ostentatious about all of the, like, less than safe for work stuff that they've got.
Well, it's just there's no I don't know. Their bar is a lot higher than it would be for America, you know?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
kind of a
Or
thing. It's
lower?
like-
I don't know how you would
no,
where you put the bar.
Lower, yeah.
Lower. The bar's out lower, so they just have all sorts of figures all in the area, and you only get into like a restriction section when they literally don't have clothes.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
it's like porn. Like that is when you are in an NSFW section. I feel like figurines are all about, they know their audience. People buying figurines
yeah.
on average are into the risque stuff, you know, probably 50-50 chance that someone's going to want to buy that figure. So they're they're out there in the open. So
Yeah.
There are dozens of
there are
them.
dozens. They're just there. You're
Way
trying
more
to
than
find this Guts Berserk figure, and then there's Aqua with like a bikini on
Aqua.
right next
Yep.
to him. You know,
There's
like-
darkness, tits out.
Yeah, actually, so it's very just non-apologetic about that kind of setup there. So
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot to take in if you're not into like the scene and whatnot. But I think getting a
It's-
figure would be cool. I mean, maybe a little weird. Do you have it on display, Sean? I guess. Like, is that
I don't
something?
even have it with me. It's back home.
Oh,
back at my parents'
yeah.
place on my bookshelf.
Gotcha.
I didn't. It's not something I brought. But
Gotcha.
if I did, I don't know. I'd put it. I guess have a little spot on a bookshelf, maybe, right?
Yeah. Like I'd probably
Yeah.
put mine on my bookshelf.
Yeah.
But I'm
Now,
like,
I
I
have it out in
wouldn't.
the open on like the dining table. That's where I'd put mine.
This is my
Just
centerpiece.
the centerpiece on the table. Yeah. I am a
I just
weeb.
don't know
want you to
about.
know.
I don't. There's too much. There's a point of too much, right? And that to me is when there's like glass cases to
full of your
show them
figures.
off, you know. And I'm not that into it, you know. I think that's my problem.
Yeah, I guess.
But occasionally I see a figure and I'm like, tasteful.
Tasteful.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, it's just a matter of what you like. Because for me, the art, the paintings, I'd probably pick one of those out every day over a figure just because I like the art, the way the art looks better.
Right.
I'm
But I
with
just
ya.
thought
I'm
of a
with Golden.
counterpoint to my rationale, my thinking, okay? I buy Legos, okay, on the occasion.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a big thing, especially with millennials and lower generation that have money now. They're like, I will get the Legos to display. Like, especially now that they make these like really cool sets, like the heads from Star Wars, like the
Yeah.
helmets and stuff.
Very
Like,
complicated.
that's a
too.
cool wall piece, you know?
Yeah, sure.
And I have two in my house that are plants, right? They make the plant series. I have a bonsai tree and an orchid. now. And that's almost the same thing as one of these figures,
It
right?
kind of is, just less weeby. It's just like,
Right.
a sculpture kind of with Legos.
I don't know. It's I'm trying to think where the
line is.
the line slash. Yeah, I wonder if it's a cultural thing,
Yeah. I feel like it's just a stereotype. Having a big head of Boba Fett, cool. Having an Aqua figurine on your table, probably less cool by most people's standards. Unless you're with that crowd. If you have the crowd,
Right.
if your friends are all that crowd, they're like, oh, that's sick. Like, I'm super into that. Let's go. Like, I feel like people really into the anime scene that have a lot of friends into anime and figurine collection, like, you would be the cool guy, oddly enough, if you had the glass cases of waifus.
limited edition.
It's like, wow,
Aqua figure.
Yeah, I can't believe you got the whole cast of Sword Art
With
Online.
changeable
on
hairstyle.
yeah.
All right, so that's the portion I don't get is the whole limited edition thing, right? Like, it's like, oh, cool. But if it looks really good and it's limited edition, sure, why not? But if it's just limited edition for the sake of being limited edition, that's one thing I've never understood about like that kind of marketing scheme. Is that if it's just limited edition but doesn't look that great, then why get it?
But people buy it still because it's limited.
Yeah.
Scarcity is its own value, I guess.
I feel like that's like how that is like a big part of it. It's like making things limited. I don't know what other company does that. There are companies that make things super limited. What is that? Supreme, that whole clothing brand does that whole thing. So
everything fast fashion, shit like Nike, shoes. Yeah,
it works. Yeah.
Talked to my uncle who's like a huge like I forget the term, but like loves like men's shoes, right? Sneakerhead, thank you. Yeah.
Sneakerhead.
Yeah. He's a total sneakerhead. And I'm like, dude, why are you like spending money on this, right? It's funny too, he's a huge nerd too.
Yeah.
But, total sneakerhead.
This is what I said, I've talked about previously, and that I'm not a collector, right? Because I don't think I get that into things like that. But at the same time, I don't know. In my mind, as long as you're not hurting anybody, go for whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. A lot of
if
people
you're hurting yourself financially, that's a problem too. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people have pride in like getting the full set. It's kind of weird because I like achievement hunting for video games in the same way, which is kind of a collector mindset, except I don't have to spend money. I just have to like play the game and
you
get
spend time.
Spend time, yeah. And there's like, weirdly enough,
money.
even though like, I'm actually trying to migrate all my gaming to Steam to have all of my achievements in one place and gaming hours in one place, just because I like that, the stats and like having all that data available.
Stats.
And it's kind of along that same mindset, but actual collecting of figures is, not time, but money.
Then do you like Risk of Rain 2's kind of, you have to unlock certain achievements to actually get abilities / characters?
I like that. That's like classic millennial gaming, I feel like. That's like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, XP, get gun, use gun, prestige, and then...
But that's XP. It's not
recycle.
like a challenge, right?
Oh, it's not like actual
what's the one challenge,
challenges.
Sean, that you mentioned in Risk of Rain where you have to like get like 12 crowbars or something like that for your Huntress or whatever?
Yes, you unlock like a new skill if you get 12 crowbars or something like that.
That's interesting. I mean, that's cool. It's a new way of doing things. Probably not as... I just like the classic XP build, personally. When you do like the challenges, it kind of feels more like a battle pass type thing, which I'm not usually a fan of for getting XP and leveling your profile up or whatever.
Yeah.
So
like how Halo does it.
Yeah. It's like, I just want to be good at the game and like kill people and get the XP instead of like, oh, you have to get like 10 headshots in a game to level up. And that's like, oh, okay. Does change how you play the game, which can be kind of fun, but not my biggest, I'm not the biggest fan of it, I would say.
How does your gamer setup
change
your performance, like percentage-wise,
Will the gamer... I think the more RGB
extra
you get...
RGB gives you an extra XP, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that would totally work. It's all about being comfortable.
Boost.
It's like, it's like being in the zone. Can you get yourself in the zone with your setup? I think you can. I think that totally gets you there.
I mean, that's the other thing is there's so much distraction, I think, with RGB. When I see some of the quote-unquote battle stations that people have, right? I just think it's too much, right? It's too much. I'd be looking at things too. I'm distracted.
You're like, oh God,
I don't
yeah.
really have. I don't have ADHD, right? But I'd be distracted. I
Yeah.
can only imagine how hard it is for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I could see it. It's also one of those weird things for like a streamer setup versus a actual setup. Because for my setup, when I have my art, I'm having them on the wall in front of my desk. But for the streamer setup, it's like all your cool stuff is behind you, which is just kind of sad, actually. It's like all my cool paintings I never actually get to see, but anyone on my Zoom call can see.
Well, you'd see it if you were walking in and out of the room, right? You can't look at
But
everything.
you can't
at
get to
the same
appreciate. You
time.
can't be sitting in like a meeting, right, and be like,
like-
"Oh, I'm bored in listening on this meeting. I can stare at my awesome wall art and be
Yeah.
entertained."
I don't know if that's a strong enough use case.
That's a very strong use case, man.
I just feel like
How many
if I-
boring
If you're
meetings
in
you
a
go
meeting and
into?
you're on a computer, you can look up anything else. You don't have to.
but it's about the physical piece, the physical hardware, Sean. I'm a big physical guy.
All right.
Yeah, just browse Reddit.
Like I got these things on the walls that aren't anything. They're just, what are they? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Sound panels you have behind you?
6 hexagonal pattern.
Hexagonal.
Hexagonal. Yeah.
Hexagonal wall plates, I don't know, that absorb sound. They're tiles. Mm-hmm. And I've just arranged them into a pattern. I have 2 colors, black and white. And, I don't... Granted, I have other art, right? Like, that's behind me. I get joy out of looking at that on the day today.
Mm-hmm. I get joy out of that. Yeah.
What is that a picture of? Is that a picture of Osaka Castle?
No, that is Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle, yeah.
At 3 different times of day, same picture.
Yeah, you could...
So it's like a 3-paneled thing.
You should just lay that whole strip of wall, because that's a thin strip of wall, right? Just get that all with art, the same types of art, all the way down. It'd be so good.
Yeah, I could do some more stuff there. I have been thinking about getting more art-based things, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I want to walk you guys through my apartment because I have stuff on almost every wall, at least something.
That's crazy. So that's one thing that blows me away is, I guess, growing up or it's very different because, but I never really had a ton of art. Like, if you look at my place, it's like I have I think 1 piece of art here. That's it.
And I don't see any of it,
Yeah, it's not.
I only see...
It's on this wall right here.
so you guys enjoy it.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, not even because it's but it's over there. It's like there's nothing I really put effort or money to. Like, it was always cool and I could find a cool piece of art, but I guess I don't know. I just never went, oh, this is something I want to hang up on my wall all the time, right? Like, there's just one thing I had that was cool. It was an old family friend. Well, actually, it was an old coworker of my dad's. He had a CNC machine and he'd CNC these crazy things he was a huge Halloween dude. And so he'd CNC entire set pieces.
That's cool.
But
That's pretty neat.
he CNC'd this. There's a Harley Davidson kind of thing. I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll throw it up on the wall. I had that for a while,
Nice.
but other than that, it wasn't. I guess I never really did art on my walls.
I
What about you, Colton? Did you have that growing up?
I didn't really. I mean, there was a couple cool things. I loved swords as a kid, so my parents bought me a real sword, and we hung that up on the wall. That was super cool. I gotta find that. I think we still have it somewhere.
Because that's a cool wall piece right there.
It is
Yeah.
a cool wall piece. That is a super cool wall piece. For me, though, honestly, I haven't really done a ton of art. When I was in college, I bought a little surfboard thing that was what is it, a foot to 2 feet tall. And I got it from Venice, so it's Venice Beach, and it it was just commemorating my California internship I did sophomore year of college. And then I had a couple other small minor things, but nothing really that showcased my personality really. So that's kind of why I like it too, because it's oh, I love this particular show, just the look of the art. I feel like it almost represents my personality, and I kind of just like the idea now of throwing that and displaying that in a weird kind of way, if that makes sense. I just bought a really cool art painting of Persona 5 that I might have shown you guys.
I
It's
think so, no.
I saw that.
it's similar to your Howl's Moving Castle, Sean, where it's at a distance, it just kind of looks like a of like a beautiful scenery with a castle in it. But if you look close, you can see what it actually is. This is a painting of like LeBlanc Cafe with the main character like doing homework in like at a distance in the coffee shop with like the cat there, and it like just looks like a painting of a coffee shop, but when you look at it close, you can tell, oh, that's Persona 5. That's
cool.
The main character.
That's cool. Yeah.
The one of the other side characters.
I like that subtleness.
I'll send you that. It's from, and I highly recommend the dude. Time Skip Studios is the guy who makes these pieces of art. It's kind of like the.
Oh yeah, I got one from my dad from that, I think.
Yeah.
Or
that's,
or was it the other one?
That was Studio de Sal. That's the Star Wars ships that are also really good. If you're really into like sci-fi, popular sci-fi ships, he does amazing art with that. But this is like a more of an anime based guy, or like a video game. He does a lot of video games too.
Okay.
And yeah, super cool. I want to get more. He has a really good Naruto one of like the ramen shop, so it kind of just looks like a older Japanese ramen shop. You look close and it's like, oh, there's like Naruto and like the Hokage mountain or whatever in the background. It's pretty sick. So that's cool.
Yeah, sounds like, why is there someone like walks into your apartment, why is there a ramen shop in front of Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, they're like, what the hell is this? Very, very Japanese. But that's the cool part. It's like you don't know unless you know. It's not like in your face. Whereas
I really like that kind of art because there's a subtleness and like you can play it off, right? Like it's like when you run into someone who like maybe you see a like a Attack on Titan like keychain on their bag or something like that, and you're like, I know you, I see you, right? Yeah. And it's a lot more subtle. It's not like they're almost the ostentatiousness about it, right? I like the more of the subtleness because it's like, all right, it's like like, you know, the type of person where you can like just like say, you know, nod at them in public and be like, they're like, I get you, or like you got something on yours, they notice that, and it's like, all right, cool. It's like this unspoken connection, and then if you want to talk about it, you can, or you can just like leave it at that, right? And like have like one of those moments.
Yeah, I'm super into like subtleness where it's like, oh, they know the content, so they're able to like appreciate it and like and be enthusiastic about it.
I mean, my approach is different, I guess, because like growing up, I always had art on the walls growing up, right?
Yeah.
My parents, being artists, liked art and produced art, so the walls were usually filled with a combination of our own family's art or other just artful things. So to me, like, you can't just have a bare wall because then it's sad, right? You gotta have something.
I was scared into trying to get more.
So sad.
Well,
like, see, I got like over there. I got my the
Fuji
thing, Mount Fuji, but my bed, and then there's I think other stuff down the hall.
Yeah, I see some art down, kind of on all of the walls and stuff like that.
But my problem as well, not my problem, but like what I've developed for that, and I guess, or man, wow, like Sunday afternoon, my thoughts are not coming to me.
We're not drinking beer right now. That's like what we need some beer.
To me, theming is important, right?
Oh yeah,
and
I see,
and that restricts what I can put on the walls. So I wouldn't have, you know, my Howl's Moving Castle, my Fuji, and then I wouldn't have just like an anime girl on the wall, right?
Yeah.
Because that's not within the theme. Right?
Clashes.
If I would have to get another room of a house, and that room is the anime girl room, right? You know, that would be like the computer room or whatever, you know? But I couldn't just have something that goes against the theme on the wall. So, for example, like the room, in here in my current apartment, let's say there's 3 to 4 room designations, right? So you have the bedroom, the hallway, which can be its own theme because it's transitionary space, the kitchen, and then the living room. And the kitchen and living room are open. However, because they're 2 different spaces, they can have different themes, you know?
Well, you put so much more thought in this. Probably because you've been exposed with it for so long. I'm like,
your parents.
Oh, this looks cool. Throw it on the wall. Like,
yeah. So I mean, I'm not like, you know, super OCD about it, right? But it is in my mind in the thought that like that I would think, what can I put up in here that would go along with the existing theme? It definitely, if I'm looking for art, I would think, oh, that's super cool. But where would I put it? I don't know
Yeah.
have anywhere to put that.
I get ya.
Even though I have open space in the wall, it wouldn't necessarily fit.
I get you. I'm really bad with theming because, for me, it's like I like this, and that's why it's like I need my own man cave because I don't care. Like I'll put the art, the sword, and the like waifu figurine in like the same spot, even though it completely clashes just because it's just kind of my space, and these are all things that I enjoy or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. With like theming, that's definitely more Carly's job. She's like, I like this farmhouse chic type design, so this is great. The only thing I really want to have more of is like plants. I like green a lot. I feel like it brightens a space and gives so much life, kind of like
Green is important.
non-ironically, to the space. And I've seen some amazing apartments in my new city where people just go all out with like vines all over the walls, plants everywhere. They're like, watering. I mean, it's a lot of work. I would never be able to do it, but it just feels fresh, with all the plants. I think that's awesome. I want plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that into plants. I do like having green in the area, and plants are good for bringing in green. But I think you can do it in different ways, right?
Yeah,
you can
you
bring
can.
that light and feeling into the space with wall art and furniture and things like that done in the right way, or plants as well. But you can do plants wrong as well.
I guess you can. Like, you just think if it's too many plants, it's just like, whoa,
Too many plants. Vines, for example, can be not done. Can really get out of hand, not just in the growing, but like in where you put them. I was in a parking lot the other day, and I looked in the car next to me, and this person had put these like fake leaf vines, like all around the inside of their car.
Okay, that's just crazy.
What?
Like,
I
why
was
are
like,
we
what are you
putting
doing?
vines in our car? That's a different kind
It
of
looked
space.
like a jungle in their car.
Yeah.
and that's obviously it's weird to have them in a car, but if you have too much of it in a home environment, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to like have like maybe a trellis or something like that inside, and you put vines on there. Imagine if you could do something like that and then have actual like tomatoes or something like that growing,
Yeah.
and be like, oh, I can actually just pick fresh tomatoes.
That's really hard in an apartment, though, I gotta think. In like a little studio space or something.
Yeah. My parents have like a couple plants throughout the house. Maybe like, and by a couple, I literally mean 2 or 3.
Yeah, a couple, and that's it.
One of them, the one plant, which I think my dad cares about more than me, is a plant that he's had since before I was born. It's just this like spindly, kind of viney thing that he waters like once a week. It's never died.
I think you've talked about this. That like almost precedes him. Maybe not quite precedes your dad, but it's like from your grandpa or something.
No, he got it when he was in college or something like that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's funny. Yeah. My dad's got a similar plant. It's a custard apple. So he picked up a custard apple from Hawaii, like probably 15 years ago, and he's been keeping it alive. And it's like it can't grow apples because it's in a too small of an area.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's like he's keeping this plant alive, and same thing, like water it every couple days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got like the waxy leaves and stuff.
I'd kind of like to get a bonsai tree,
I would too. Yeah, that's
but
big.
I really don't want to. It's too much maintenance.
You don't want to trim it? Don't want to like
I don't want to
add,
trim
snips?
it. Maybe in like 10 years, I'll want to get a bonsai tree.
Get your peace lily.
I want one of those mini maple trees.
What?
Is that
There's
what is
mini
that?
maple trees that have that the leaves will turn orange,
really?
and shed and everything.
Those
They look so dope.
those seem so specialized. Like I would be paying so much money for this like mini maple tree. Just
Yeah.
seems like.
I'll
like-
look it up and I'll send you guys a picture of it.
Gotcha. I'm super into like palm trees. There are these plants that are like almost little mini palm tree looking things. And Carly hates them. I think I would have gotten a couple of them already if she liked them, but they are definitely a look, and they're kind of almost more branch than leaf, but the branches look super cool. It just brings me back to the beach, and I love that vibe. Yeah, this is my room. My man cave is going to get out of hand. It's going to be these palm tree
Just an
plant
overload of
things,
stuff.
like art on the walls. It's like, okay, is this room supposed to be low light or like really bright? We don't know. It's just kind of all together in one
I'm
space.
imagining
I
it
also-
like an 80s, like an 80s teenage boy room. You know what I'm talking about from like an 80s movie where they've got like all like the posters on the wall.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
It's like
want
all the
that.
bands,
That
stuff
would
like
be
that, yeah.
that would be cringe. I gotta try and not do that. That would not be the way.
I really like, and maybe because my dad has done a lot of sculptures, right? I like sculptures of organic things, but made out of inorganic material, right?
Okay.
So I found, for example, I think I sent you guys some pictures just now of a bonsai kind of tree, but then there's also, I found one that's made out of wire, and I thought I totally get that. I'll post that one right now.
Out of wire. Okay.
But there's definitely these artists that make bonsai trees out of wire. They coil wire. And,
Yeah, I
and
see.
it looks super cool, I like stuff like that. And the same thing, I have a bonsai tree right now made out of Legos.
Made out of Legos. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So-
It looks kind of like a toy to me. It does look cool, but
I mean, they are small little things, right?
they are little guys. Yeah. I guess regular bonsai trees look like toys. Honestly.
I just know I would probably kill it,
Yeah, I would really not want to kill it. That would suck. And also, I just envision me getting dirt everywhere or like stuff leaking, like the pot breaking. Oh my God, it's a huge deal. Got to get a new pot. I don't know. Maybe that's not like a very realistic expectation of what's going to happen, but I'm not really one that likes to have. I'm not a guy that's like, I want this job to do. I want this job to do and do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
well,
maintain
I mean,
it.
sometimes I like caring for something like that. Like, this is my task that I do, and it is, I do this once a week.
It's soothing,
and
yeah.
I trim my tree, and it's very ritualistic. That could be fun.
Yeah.
But I don't see myself doing that right now.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Yeah, your life there's too much change, like moving apartments all the time. I get that. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way because I love, like, this one thing I really like about Japanese culture is that it seems to be very ritualistic. And something I really appreciate is that you have a lot of these smaller rituals that I feel like add, and I think we talked about this before, but just those smaller rituals that I feel like something about that adds to life, I guess, at least for
Yeah,
me.
it just it gives you comfort,
yeah.
gives you a task, feels
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Like I love. It sounds weird. I love sanding. I like that's what one of my favorite parts, honestly, about woodworking is sanding because it's like it's the same, super repetitive. Even though I'm very ADHD, there's something about it that just like calms my mind. Maybe
Well, if
because
you
I'm
can get it, the smooth, you go
smooth
down
texture.
the grits, up in the grit sizes, it's like, it gets really smooth. There's
Yeah.
something really nice about,
like 1,000+ grit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's how I
there's
do my
something
desk.
really nice about getting, using skill to make something better.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
That's why I'm really
Something-
excited to use my
Yeah.
whetstone. I just got one for Christmas.
Oh, I was just about to mention it. I want to get a whetstone too to start
Dude,
sharpening knives.
It's actually
Yeah.
it's same thing. It's I did my stones. I bought mine like I think 2 months ago, and I
Yeah.
just had used it for the first time probably 2 weeks ago. And yeah, same thing. It's like 15 minutes
like-
per side or whatever, like 10, 15 minutes per side. But it's the same kind of just like you gotta have the exact same like feel to it because I'm just doing it by feel. I'm not using like any kind of like template or whatever.
Guide. No guide
Yeah,
or
guide. Yeah, no guide. Yeah, thank you. And it's so nice. It's so the knives are so sharp now. Although
I have
yeah.
whetstones, right? But
Yeah.
I have it in like the tool thing, the jig that kind of gets you the right angle if you measure it.
yeah,
But I want to just get a straight flat whetstone. I want to get like a 1,000 grit and maybe like a 2,000. That's all I need.
Gotcha.
yep. Mine's 1,000, 3,000, I think.
No
Yeah.
idea. I have no idea. I just bought it off Amazon. It comes with like 4 blocks, so it's probably more than I need. And then you research that, make sure I'm.
There is a
to go.
there's a guy I've been listening to on YouTube now, who's just like the knife guy. It seems to be. And one of the things he says is his channel is Burrfection,
Nice.
like the burr on a knife.
Yep.
Yeah.
Burrfection. He's making knife videos for years now, and one of the things he says is that really you don't need anything more than 1,000 grit
Oh,
to
really?
make a like a razor sharp knife.
Okay.
And if anything after that is really just polishing and, honing, essentially.
Okay. And I can see, you want it to have a nice finish maybe for your knife. You want it to be
If you use 1,000 grit and you do it right, you're gonna have a razor sharp knife.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
I also feel like the whetstones are a lot easier with a big beveled knife, right? Like I've got really tiny little bevels on my knives, right? Like the actual cutting edge is fairly small.
A lot of chef knives are tiny double bevels,
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass to because especially when I'm trying to do it by feel, right? Like you have to just do it exactly right, and the feel can be really hard. But I feel like that's when you have if you have a bigger bevel on yours, it's a lot easier to deal with.
When I get my Japanese knife, that's going to have the large single double bevel, single bevel. So I'm excited for that.
I have a Japanese knife, so I assume mine has the single bevel. I don't know. I'm really worried about messing it up because it's already
You
pristine.
have the Shun, right?
The Shun, yeah.
Do you have the Sentoku?
Sentoku style, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever the
that's a single bevel.
Yeah. Okay. So that'll be great. I need to get more knives, but that's another discussion. I want like 3 knives. I'm really okay.
I need two Japanese knives. I need the Sentoku and the Nakiri, and then I'm set.
Is that the big block one?
Not the squared block. It is flatter, right, than a Sentoku.
Gotcha. I want the block one. I don't like, small aside. I've been watching Hell's Kitchen lately, and other cooking shows. Like Carly and I've been watching a lot of cooking stuff, and a lot of them are using the big block thing to cut vegetables, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I feel
it's kind of neat.
I've seen a lot of Chinese cooks. I think in traditional Chinese cooking, I'm just talking my ass here, right? Just from what I've observed, is that they tend to use like bigger, almost like with butcher looking knives.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I think they're just single bevel, right? But I feel like that's the classic. I'm like, anytime I see this older Chinese woman cooking up some like awesome food, I'm like, oh, she's just using this one. They use the exact same knife, and it's like this giant block. I'm like,
block knife.
I don't know actually the name of it.
So this one I just sent you guys the Nakiri knife. So that is a classic Shun Nakiri knife.
Oh,
it's actually not a classic. It's their Shun's premier knife, but that's the shape, right? That you would have from Nakiri.
Okay, yeah.
And it's not that big. It's smaller.
Yeah, the block one I was thinking is like double the height or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a good style though. I like that.
That is the vegetable cutting knife and like other and kind of chopping thing that I want to get.
Gotcha.
Because it's just the purpose made for that task.
Yeah, and we a lot of green onions that need to be cut in these Japanese style recipes.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to get mine because they look spectacular.
So good.
B,
they look amazing.
They're going to be the best performing knives for my next decade of life or more.
Yeah. Here's an art piece that I want. I want a wall hung like knife hanger, something that you can hang your knives on, like on your backsplash in your kitchen. That's elevated life right there. Adulting at its finest.
I have one of the wooden block magnetic ones right now, and I really like it.
Well, do you just like wooden block? Is it
it's a standalone, right? So it doesn't, it's not mount to the wall. It's a standing little stand.
Oh, it's like a little.
It has just wooden, and I just put the knife on that.
Gotcha.
And it works very well. It's only made for like let's say 5 knives, right?
Okay.
But I don't need more than that to cook. I need 3.
I've heard. Yeah, most people, I think, most chefs are like, you only need 3 knives. Like, find out what you want for these tasks, and then you're good.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. That's what I figured out. So I'm gonna, once I buy those other knives, I think I probably get the Nakiri first.
Yeah.
Because I already have a Western chef's knife, which is similar to a Sentoku, which is not the same. Mm-hmm. And the Nakiri is the one that is most different from current knives that I have. So I would get that first and then the Sentoku, I think.
Yeah. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Well, we really deviated from gamer setups.
Yeah, we did.
Well, no, you bring it back in, right? So you just cover it with knives, okay?
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna go full knives out, like big old circle of knives.
My knife setup will be in my gamer setup. That would be great. Honestly, a true gamer setup, having a sword in the background, you would be
the
cool.
ultimate knife, one might say.
The ultimate knife.
It's
a knife for cutting humans.
Jeez. Yeah.
Dang.
I don't know. I just like the simplistic I wouldn't mind some more, some little more RGB. It'd be kind of fun, but for the most part, I like my gamer setup. I got just dual monitors. I cannot do more than dual monitors at all. The ultra
really?
wide may be kind of nice, although I'm not a huge fan of them. But
no ultra wide, dual monitors, which I have, but I'd also like a TV.
A TV for
Really?
Yeah.
shows?
Just for YouTube, I don't know, something in the background. I could put the timeline up there when I'm recording, so I can see all the things very
That
easily.
would be wild, huge.
It
Yeah,
doesn't need to be a massive TV, maybe just like 40 inches,
yeah.
you
Like
know?
get yourself
and
a
that's
nice
plenty big enough.
40-inch OLED or something like that, like where it's beautiful, but it's not anything crazy special. It's just a really good picture.
just talking about buying stuff.
Man, my
I
setup
can't buy anything right now.
my setup used to be a 34-inch ultra wide and then a standard 27-inch monitor flipped horizontal for Excel sheets. But now I got them both horizontal, and it like takes up my entire 60-inch wide desk. I have
What do you mean both horizontal?
like they're both regularly facing. They're regular like the regular mounting position or viewing position. That's where they're oriented right now.
But the ultra wides are next to each other?
I have one ultra wide and one standard. They're just right next to each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a
And
lot.
it's like super big, but I feel so like tech. I feel like I am so in it.
I'm so tech. You should pull up some stock charts on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And take a picture going,
Get a
yes,
Bloomberg
I see
terminal.
it.
And my OCD is finally eliminated because I've been using a laptop plus a ultra wide for the longest time. So when you move your mouse to the other screen, it gets all weird and you have to align it correctly. The screen height is exactly the same, so it just looks like one continuous long
good. Yeah.
computer screen, and it is It is so good. I feel like I've accomplished like what
You've
my
made
dreams.
it. You finally made it.
Yeah, as a kid, it's like I want this setup. I have done it. The funny thing is they are both work monitors, as I've mentioned previously on this podcast before. So it's I'm at loaner monitors, which is probably $700, $800 total. But it feels
what's
great.
crazy? All right. Speaking of monitors, okay. So I've done 3 monitors. I've done 2 horizontal, 1 vertical. I've had them all horizontal. I've had, I think I at one point had a little bit of a TV going on, but it was like a bad one, and I didn't know what I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
Now I have 2 27 inches, right? A 4K and a 2K, and that I really like, and that's what it's been for the past couple of years. However, I think we would all argue that more than one monitor is the way, right? You can't just have a single monitor, right? Productivity definitely sort of kind of reaches the top of the bell curve at 2 to 3.
Yeah, I don't understand people who can be 100% productive on a single monitor, right? I try my best on, when I work from home, a lot of times I'll be, lying on my bed sometimes, or I don't really have any connection right now at home with my laptop. So if I'm working from home, it's mostly just laptop. And I'm this is absolutely terrible. I want to go into the office just to actually get multiple monitors.
Yeah.
Well, I have 3, right? Because I use my laptop lid, and then I have the 2 monitors. I'm like, that's the point.
And I could work on one laptop monitor for quick tasks, right? This is I need to do this thing for work quickly, right? But what I wanted to bring up about this is my dad, for the longest time, years, has only been using a single laptop, like a 14-inch MacBook,
Oh, yeah.
to do all of his work,
So,
And we constantly, for years, have been going, what are you doing? You get another monitor. Come on.
I mean, your mom has access to these monitors, so he has less of an excuse to get.
My mom also has 2 computers, as well. And so when I moved out, I was getting through all my stuff, and I found just a monitor that I wasn't using, you know, from one of my old setups. And I'm like, here, use this monitor. Gave it to him, and he goes, I don't know about that. And then finally he started using it, and he goes, oh, this is pretty good.
This is nice. This is increased
It took
connectivity.
Especially like, how old's your dad?
years,
He's like,
5.
he's in his 50s now, right?
Yeah, but my parents are both tech savvy people, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think the reason he didn't want to use another monitor is because he didn't want to clear his desk to be able to put it there.
Oh yeah, he's like, I need.
Okay,
the
so that's the real
space.
reason. Yeah.
And then he finally did when I just gave. I put it on his desk. I just put the laptop or the monitor on his desk.
So he's got an artist desk then, where it's just
Yeah.
covered in shit.
Gave it there, perfectly organized, if you ask him.
Uh-huh.
And which I believe it is organized, you know, but there's still stuff, you know, all over
Everywhere.
the place.
Yeah.
And finally gave him that, and I left. And then I think a couple weeks later, my mom says, "Your dad's been using the extra monitor," and we're like,
Like,
"Finally!"
yes, thank you. It
It was
Yep.
really funny.
Old dog, new tricks kind of situation.
Yeah, I feel like
I mean, it does really help productivity to
it
have
does. Yeah,
more
Also,
workspace.
Why I bring up your dad's age is I can't imagine being like working in your 50s, like, you know, eyesight is kind of going, right? And working on a little 14-inch MacBook monitor. Like that's like
Right.
it's like I gotta squint to see anything on a normal MacBook monitor anyway, and I have pretty good eyesight. I'm
Yeah.
mildly farsighted, but that doesn't hurt.
right.
But yeah, so it's like
When my eyes start going, right, I'm definitely just getting 2 TVs.
Two
And that's gonna
TVs.
be my,
Put
right, yeah,
my monitor set up.
and,
The text
and sitting
scaling
60
200%.
inches back, you know,
Yeah.
right? Just like all the way back here.
That would be it's going to be ideal.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. My setup when I am older is going to be laughable, I feel like. Honestly, I hope VR just gets better because I'm just going to have the VR thing and then I'll have like my 5 monitors or whatever the heck I want. That's probably what I'll do.
As many monitors as you want.
That's kind of what I've been doing sometimes. It's like, I just want to do this on a big screen. I'll just put the VR headset on and do everything
Oh, really?
from the VR headset. Yeah, every once in a
Really?
while. I think it's kind of cool. Like watching a movie, watching other streaming services on that is really, really good. Yeah, it's fun.
I still just don't think it's good enough.
No.
It's not. See, I think when you're viewing a screen on the VR headset, it works fine. It works perfectly good. If you
Maybe I'll have to revisit it and try it again. We should, now that I have an amazing internet connection, we should try big screen again.
Yeah, we should.
The just watching all in a movie theater essentially.
Yeah.
Because I can totally stream video way better now.
We have-
the problem back then was I couldn't up the resolution because my internet couldn't take it. Right. No problem now.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
I'd try that again.
we should do that. We have a couple shows we want to watch together, so we should try to schedule
Yeah,
that
that's true.
and report back on how good that is or isn't.
That would be kind of
still.
fun. See, anime is fine. I could watch 2 episodes of anime in VR, right? Mm-hmm. But a whole-on movie, I don't think I could make it through
It is
in VR.
2 hours with the headset on. Yeah, I mean, even with like a nice backrest swapped
Yeah.
out for the default MetaQuest 2 back strap thing or head strap, still
Yeah.
kind of gets a little tough after 2+ hours.
Really?
So-
I use the default shitty, literally just like seatbelt material one, right? Still. And it's just fine.
You probably just don't have like what are they called? Like neurons in your face. That's the wrong thing. Neurons.
No nerves.
No, it's just all air up here, honestly.
Yeah.
There's no neurons at all.
What's the word I'm thinking of?
Just
No,
nerves.
nerves.
Being an idiot right now.
Just nerves.
Yeah.
What is it? Nerves.
Yeah.
Neurons. That's
No,
like
I
that's a
think it's
bigger
just-
insult, I think.
I have enough hair that it just creates a
a cushion.
it creates
yeah.
cushion, yeah.
Well, no, it's not the back of my head that hurts. It's the front of where the headset's on.
Yeah. It
Oh, really?
squeezes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just weighs on your face.
I honestly,
You don't have that. That's kind of fascinating.
Maybe I just have, my
You
setup's
just
just good
lack
enough.
neurons apparently.
lack neurons. Yeah. Brain
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
process the pain.
Yeah, but there's nothing up here, man. Yep.
It definitely. I think if I had something that balanced it, so the more weight was on the top of my head, it'd
Yeah.
probably be better.
So you just need to counterweight.
Right. But I don't know how to attach that, and I don't want to buy something. So
Yeah. I just got
that's where I'm stuck.
I got my headset with a battery in the back, so it does act as a good counterweight. The weird thing is, it's like got such a good connection. Sometimes the front of my face does hurt more now than it did before, for whatever reason. It's like the counterweight better distributes the forces, but now the force is like there's a lot of clamping force on my forehead, and it gets me more sore.
Loosen it up.
Nah, but then it like wobbles, and it's like I want to be.
It's too much weight. They need to make the technology smaller, man. It's
need
the only way.
They need a visor, is what they need. They need a visor, and yeah, that'll really blow up when we get a visor.
Well, with like Meta scaling back, we'll see how that is. All the tech companies scaling back, but
Yeah, well, for now.
yeah, yeah.
For now.
Who knows? Meta's
One day.
We've already
the
talked
technology
about Meta.
will get there.
Technology
Well, yeah.
will get there.
It will. Yeah.
I really want just better stuff. I really want.
I feel like that's a rabbit hole that's like you'll never get to the end though. If you always want better stuff. Like what do you want that's better? Like a better computer, better bed, better windows.
Just everything. I want to live in the future.
Oh,
just
you mean like just actually like stuff that doesn't exist yet. You want to live with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to teleport to work. I want to have a 0G bed. I want to, all this cool stuff I want that doesn't exist.
It's kind of like the whole, born too late to explore the world, born too early to explore space.
Yeah. But to be fair, I got a lot of cool things right now. I'm not like, I'm not saying life sucks right now. There's so many cool things.
Yeah.
I mean, I was born just in time to experience the development of meme culture. That's a really good time to live in.
Yeah,
Man,
right.
I actually think about that often. I'm like, I actually love the time period that I've been born because I don't have to worry about, getting food. I wouldn't have liked to been, primal alpha male trying to go hunt for my food. Nah, I'm fine with my mac and cheese in my box.
My box.
But growing
Would
up
I like the microwave that I put my head into, and then all of a sudden the food that I most want appears?
That'll be great. I like the fact that I grew up with the internet. That was such a fun time in my early adolescence where it's like I'm on forums, gaming forums, where people were like, oh, I love Smash Bros. Let's like play with our friend codes and stuff. That was
and
such
we
a
also
fun
grew
time.
up at the time when when less people understood the internet.
Yeah.
Which is like you're saying forums. Forums don't exist nowadays, right? Gaming forums, they hardly exist.
Yeah.
But that was a huge thing, and we've seen the development of the internet.
It just kind of like
and how it got into its modern phase right now.
I'm glad I didn't grow up though, like 100% on the internet, right? Like I only got internet when I was in my preteens and my teenage years, right? I'm glad I spent the first decade of my life away from the internet because I feel like I actually worry about like my eventually my kids and kids currently like growing up, right? Like I have younger cousins who've grown up exclusively in the internet times. It's like from the time they're like 2 years old, they've been on iPads and stuff
on an
like
iPad.
That.
That's not good. That's not good for attention spans.
I'm definitely going to restrict internet access for a while, but I think in a good way, right? I obviously I haven't fully thought through this plan yet, but being that it's impossible to block it, right? They go to school, they're gonna talk to kids and be like, "Oh, the internet," and you're like, "What?
Like, what is the internet?"
Like, you don't want them to be like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's. I don't think people know how to teach kids about the internet right now, but I think I will have a good idea of how to do that if I have kids.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, in a weird way, I was on the internet a decent amount. I remember when I was on gaming forums, I was posing as a 14-year-old, which I thought was really old, which must have meant I was like 11 when I was on the internet. Because I remember everyone else was like 14 to 16 on these forums, at least allegedly that I was a part of.
Allegedly.
I mean, like, I don't know. There's some wild stories. Like, like the people on the forum met up with each other when they were like 15, and they were like having a great time. They're like, yeah, we met up.
Yeah, how do they find each other at that?
That's so weird.
I need to go back. There's a specific forum that I was a huge fan of, and I went on every day after school for an hour or two to talk with these people, and I don't know how they did it because, I mean, like they must have lived in the same area, or I think a lot of the kids I was talking with might have been delinquents. I remember one of the guys we talked with was like drinking at 16. I was like, that's not allowed. Why are you drinking? I asked him specifically. I'm like, yo, isn't that like illegal? Why are you drinking? That's like, it was so foreign to me that you would break the law like that as an 11-year-old.
But to be fair, they could also just be lying.
They could,
like the same way you were lying about being 14.
They could. I don't know. It was this weird thing where it was this guy and this girl, and they were like dating, and like she was having a kid, even maybe. I don't know. See, this is why I'm like, they were delinquents, and I just was kind of hanging out with them, talking to them. They're like, oh, I like Smash Bros. I like Metal Gear Solid. I just started playing that. But
I think, you guys know my username, right? That I use for everything.
yeah.
So I first started using that in RuneScape, right? I created that for RuneScape. And I'm pretty sure I started that when I was 11.
Oh, okay.
Hence the 11 at the end of the name. I think that's what that came from.
Interesting. Okay.
And I had definitely been on the internet before then. So I want to say around 8 is when I probably started using a computer and internet and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. But definitely by 10 or 11, because I was playing RuneScape. When you were on gaming forums, I was on the RuneScape. Every time I got after school, just jump on there.
I didn't have, my mom didn't have internet until I was like 14 or 15.
Dang.
I think my dad had only when I was like 12 or 13. Which is, so I was a late bloomer, which is weird because now I'm like
For the
all in
internet.
technology. Yeah, but like, I'd be like at school, right? And especially since at the time I lived with my mom mostly. It was like, oh, what do you see in this internet thing? I'm like, I don't have Facebook, I don't have internet, I don't have any stuff like this. And it's like, I feel like I'm like living in the dark ages almost. But obviously that changed once smartphones kind of came out. But I find it so funny. Like I remember like my first foray was like I think an iPod Touch. Was like that
I
first
remember an iPod Touch.
Yeah.
I love my iPod Touch.
Yeah, those things are great.
Yeah. That was good.
It was a major change. I was just talking the other day about how I miss that there's a separate device for that. Because it was just music, but it's just not needed anymore. It's just so
it was
not
kind of
needed.
it was kind of fun having that like separate device. I don't know. As a kid, getting that kind of freedom on the internet was
Yeah.
really cool. I remember. Were you guys ever into like iFunny for memes back in the day? Do you remember
Briefly.
that?
I wasn't like a super user of it. But
Okay.
occasionally.
I used to check those posts every day. I would like compete for top comment because you had like 2 top comments. That was like my baby Reddit, baby mode Reddit was iFunny.
I discovered Reddit pretty early on. Right?
Yeah, Reddit was better.
So-
I'm sure.
So I was on that quite early. Hold on. I can actually look up when I joined.
I actually wanted to, while you're looking this up, it's super interesting. I looked up my username on the gaming forums that I used to be on, and if you look up my username, I am like the top 3 for like game reviews of that username on Google. If you look it up,
Wow.
and that's a blast of the past. You can see the games I was playing. Oh my god, cringe, but also warming to the heart.
So my account on Reddit says that I have been a Redditor for 10 years.
Wow.
So that meant I was probably about 15 when I joined. So that's how long I've been on that. Which was 15? What was high school, right? I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's about the time that. Oh, man.
Yeah. I just got Reddit because I started working in IT and everyone used Reddit. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to pick up Reddit.
Wow, super
right.
late.
That's
Super late. That was
interesting.
like, I was like, what, 19 or 20 when I started working in IT. So yeah, that's super late.
Did you? So Sean, were you ever on Planetary Annihilation?
Well, it's a video game, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I found your profile on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's like, it's weird because it's like, okay, so you guys weren't probably a part of a lot of these forums, but you guys can see what I like posted when I was like 11, which is hilarious.
I gotta check this out. Actually,
You should
Well,
check it out. You should
Just
check
yeah,
it
drop
out.
it in Discord.
Because I've used this. I mean, it's probably dumb of me to do this, but because I've used the same username for every game,
Yeah.
like if you Google search it, you get everything that it's been a part of.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same for me
It's an
too.
interesting way to do it.
It's the same
Yeah.
for me.
I find that
So-
funny because I tend to switch between usernames depending on like what medium. Like I have like what 3 different ones, 2 or 3 different ones that will swap between. Yeah, I've never. I don't know. I mostly use like the one my my Steam username, but for the most part, it's like I usually change it up.
Yeah, I firmly believe I now understand my beginnings on gaming forums were the beginnings of my obsession with reviews. I was starting to review games at that time, and I think it showed. I had like I had like 40 reviews,
40 reviews.
something like that. You can look.
As a kid,
As a kid, yeah, I was super
That's
into it.
crazy.
I loved gaming reviews. I still like sometimes want to make like gaming reviews. I think that'd be super fun.
there's only 4 results here.
Yeah, but like it dives into, you can get into my whole profile with that. I'm pretty sure, at least. Like if
That's
you click
really
on my
funny.
username,
What if I?
Oh my god.
dude, I don't know if I was like a bratty little kid, so you have to forgive any weird stuff you see on this form or on
This
my
is
stuff.
actually
I have
this is actually
1,400
great.
posts. 1,400 posts. Yep, and you'll be able to see the forum I was on the most.
this is-
Man.
I used to have
in
I used to have
2008. In 2008.
2008. So I was 12. Was like the latest I post, and I was on it for a couple years. So I was probably doing it when I was 10.
I used to have way more search. used to have pages of search results in Google.
Oh, really? Because
Mainly because of Eve Online.
Yeah, you
right?
were more
'Cause you'd
relevant.
Get on to like kill board forums and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I only have 9 results right now.
Dang.
It's a shame.
I don't think I have any. Which is, to me, is
I
a
don't
good
even-
thing.
What is this? I don't even remember being. Oh, I did have an account on that. Huh. I think we're devolving.
we are.
We are. We are.
I'm gonna wrap it up because today's a short episode, and it's time for us to get on with the rest of our Sunday. So, thanks to everyone for listening in on this episode of Almost a Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, do your thing. Send us any recommendations for a topic you might like on the Reddit if you're into that. And yeah, one day we'll get there. New short coming out soon. Finally.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like it.
I'm glad you guys like it. So yeah, hopefully could streamline that. I remembered how to use my editing software again, so I can
back to
hopefully make more shorts faster. So keep a lookout up for that on TikTok and YouTube as well. So yeah, other than that, peace out. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Enjoy your Wednesday.